Welcome back to the Boozy Bookworm. On today's docket, we are going to be reviewing Fireblood by Ellie Blake, which is the sequel to Frostblood. But obviously it's the opposite because now it's fire, And to go with this book, I got a bottle of Noble Vines. It's for rosé this time, but I picked it because also this little symbol kind of reminds me of like this little, it's like kind of similar. I don't know. But also we meet another prince in this book. It is going to get a 3.75 out of 5. It's got like this dull twang to it. Wine connoisseurs probably have a word for that. However, I do not. So I'm going with a dull twang. If you know a wine person, let me know and tell me what they would call this. But at any rate, we press on. For those of us that don't remember, because I did review the first book a while ago, our main character is Ruby Otrera, and she is a Fireblood. And also the Daughter of Darkness, which sounds like a really freaking awesome title. But at any rate, she is dating, has a thing with the Frostblood Prince of Tempetia, and his name is Arcus. So those are our two main players for the moment. And of course, a Fireblood and a Frostblood being together kind of makes like zero sense. Kind of like, you know, ketchup on eggs. Or cold pizza, or syrup on eggs. You know, and nothing belongs on eggs. You can have cheese, pepper, that's about it. Unless you're tossing in a vegetable, in which case, now it's an omelet, and I am here for that. Oh, or like ketchup and mac and cheese. Don't be a psychopath. Just don't be a psychopath. Things are going great for Arcus and Ruby. They still haven't done the deed, which is pissing me off. So like honestly, I give these books like a 12 plus rating. Honestly, I'd probably let my 8-year-old read these if they could understand the words. I don't have an 8-year-old. I should make that clear. I don't have one yet, so. But if I did, they could read these because it's so innocent. But naturally, Ruby is not really accepted in Arcus's court, if you will, or kingdom, because she's a Fireblood, and Frostbloods naturally hate Firebloods. And so she's having a really hard time, and Arcus is like, but I love you, it's fine, it's fine. But like, it's not fine. And so all of a sudden, I may not drink wine properly, but I do know how. There are 5 S's. You swirl, sniff or smell, sip, wish, and swallow. Or maybe it's and savor. I don't know. It's one of those. But this is basically how you're supposed to drink wine. And we all know I don't do that. All of this is fun until Kai shows up. And Kai is from Sudetia, which is home to Firebloods. So basically, it's Ruby's heritage. Her homeland. I don't know. Basically, Kai's like, you should come back with me. And she's like, yeah, I think I should. Because stuff's not really going great for her in Tempetia. So Arcus is like, don't leave. And she's like, I have to. And he's like, bah. And so it's like a little lover's quarrel breakup type thing. And so she leaves with Kai, who I really wouldn't usually like a red-haired man. But I'll tell you what, Kai could get it. And if you're one of my little cousins watching this, when I say that he could get it, I mean he could get this strong, independent woman who doesn't need a man and is very celibate. Kai brings Ruby back to Sudetia and meets with the Queen Nalani. And she finds out that Queen Nalani kind of sent Kai for her. And so it wasn't like a mere coincidence, like he was coming for her, like specifically. But basically somehow, and I don't really remember the particulars of the situation, but basically she has to pass 3 trials in order to become a Fireblood master, which is what she wants to do because she's like, I want to like master my gift. But these 3 trials are deadly, and if you fail, basically you're just like a peasant for the rest of your life. And you'll never be a Fireblood master. Unless you're Kai. Because the queen is giving him a second chance. He gets to try the trials again. Try the trials. Ha, ha, ha. Anywho, so Ruby agrees because obviously, and the first trial is underground in tunnels, and she has to use her fire to like break down the doors. Meanwhile, there's lava flowing behind her. But here's the thing about firebloods. Even they are not immune to lava. Lava will still kill them. It'll hurt. They can catch on fire and they'll be fine, but obviously lava's like at a much higher temperature if you know science, which I do not, but I do know that. She's in this tunnel getting chased by lava, which will literally kill her if she doesn't pass. And so she has to use her powers and she gets out and she's fine. So she passed trial 1. Huzzah. The second trial is even more challenging, as you can imagine, because the trial should get more complex as the time goes on. And so Ruby has to sit above like this canyon with like a drop that will kill you for sure if you fall, whilst she sits in this like a cube of ice. So naturally, fear kind of heats one's body temperature, and so she, who already runs really hot, and then sitting over this canyon where if you melt the ice that you are sitting in and is the only thing holding you up, you will die. And so she has to do that whilst, as if that wasn't enough, because heights would scare anyone, scorpions, spider, whatever the heck they are crawling all over her. And like one sting from them and you'll die. And so they're really just trying to kill her off. At this point, I don't even know if they're testing her fire powers so much as they are testing her, I don't even want to say will to live because it's all uncontrollable. Like so much as testing the fate, the odds, fates, the odds, I don't know. They're testing something. And for once, it's not my patience. She very nearly falls and plummets to her death. She has to spend like a certain amount of time in there, and then she narrowly escapes with kind of the help of Kai. So like, whatever, but she survives and it counts. And so now she is on to the third and final trial in order to become a Fireblood Master. The third and final test takes place, I don't remember where it takes place, so I'm not even gonna prompt you with that. That'll help jog my memory. Oh yeah, the third and final test is basically, oh, we gonna make it, oh, we gonna make it. Ruby and Kai are down underground, I think, with lava again, because why not? Let's just lava everywhere. Lava for you, lava for you, lava for all. And the Queen Nalani, is there. And everyone's like, what are you doing here? And she goes, it's really quite simple, Ruby. Your third and final test is obedience. Well, actually, I don't think she says that. At any rate, the third and final trial is testing Ruby's obedience. And to the Queen, she says, I want you to marry Kai. And Ruby's like, what? That wasn't part of the deal. Like, Kai is kind of cool. But like, Arcus. Well, she says yes. So now, Kai and Ruby are engaged. So now, both Kai and Ruby are Fireblood Masters, and that's great. The Queen puts them on a balcony up in like a castle, like in the sky. Well, it's not in the sky, but it's like really tall. It's like it's a regular castle, but there's a balcony, so like, I don't know. She announces that they're engaged and they have to kiss, and Ruby's not like that mad because like, I mean, Kai's pretty awesome and like, he's hot, I guess, for a ginger. I don't know how I feel. They kiss, and then all of a sudden someone in the crowd storms out, and wouldn't you know, it's Arcus, and he's pissed. Somewhere in there we find out that Ruby is Queen Nalani's niece, that her mom was the sister of the queen. I don't know where we find this out. She makes all things right with Arcus, and Arcus is like, you're my home, or maybe she's like, you're my home. I don't really know. All I know is that my favorite line in the whole entire book comes when Ruby says, I hope you're not planning to use the claim of intoxication as an excuse to flirt. She's talking to Kai. And Kai responds, I never need an excuse to flirt, though I prefer to call it appreciating your allure, any more than I need an excuse to breathe. And you are more intoxicating than wine, Lady Ruby. But also, wine is really intoxicating. I would know firsthand. And so I would love to meet Ruby. And also, my fiance should start saying things like this to me, because I don't want to leave him for a fictional character, but And if you all remember that thing called the Minax, which is like this evil thing that's like trying to ruin everything. There was this woman, a girl named Morella, and she was a friend of Arcus and Ruby, and she basically betrayed them, went with the Minax, and so now Arcus is like, I want to kill her myself. And Ruby's like, I know, but I also want to save her. And so like that's kind of the book drop, I guess, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So this is where it ends. We're going to deal with the Morella situation. We're going to deal with the Morella situation and get back to that in a moment. Cover design is going to get a 4. I like it. It's aesthetically pleasing. I love the colors. I love the aesthetic. It's really pretty. It captures fire very well. It's a 4. Characters are a 4.75. I really love the characters. I especially love Kai. And that sounds strange, but like, I don't know. I love Ruby and I love Arcus and like, I like them together, but I don't love them together. And I know the whole opposites attract thing is like a huge draw, but like Kai gets her in a way that Arcus never will because he has the same ability that she does, and therefore Arcus will never truly be like on the same page as her or know where she's coming from in a lot of things. And so I don't know, characters are really dynamic and they're great. So plot is a 4.5. I love the plot. I think this is a pretty interesting tale. Also, I mean, I know like the elements, the power of elements has been done before. I haven't read any of those books, so I don't know. This was really cool. And I like the whole like piracy and the secret relation to the Fire Queen and all that. So, I mean, you really, if you haven't, you should really check it out because the plot is awesome. Ending is also going to get a 4.5 for me because, I mean, Morella has turned to the dark side, if we're going to go all Star Wars on this stuff. And Arcus is back with Ruby, which I think that's why it doesn't get a 5 because I'm sorry, I just really don't want them together. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want her with Kai and Kai really likes her. And so like, oh, I'm fine. The book drop for me and for everyone is when Morella goes over to the dark side. And I'm gonna give that a 5. I think it's incredible. I didn't predict it. I don't know if anyone else did, and if you did, that's props to you, I guess. I didn't really see that coming, and so it's a shocker, and you're like, holy crap. There's a lot of little book drop moments where it's like, Arcus is in the crowd, book drop. Kai helps her finish her second book drop. Queen says that Ruby has to marry Kai, book drop. Like, there's a lot of little book drops, and then it's like, book drop! Which gives Fireblood a 4.55 out of 5. I think I gave it a 5 on Goodreads. I really liked it. I read it really fast. I mean, that's not surprising. It's like 408 pages, so like, doesn't take a long time. I got really invested, and I read like the whole series really fast. So, at any rate, 4.55, and yeah, it's good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned until next Friday and stay boozy, my friends.